Dear aspiring drone photographers and videographers, this video right here may be of interest to you. Today I'm going to be discussing a course that I recently completed. It's an aerial cinematography course that's offered by Drone Film Guide. So stick around. But first, before we dive in, I want to do a rant. In 2017, on this channel BoutenkoFilms, I published a video about how I passed my FAA Part 107 drone test with minimal effort and maximum knowledge retention by using a paid online course hosted by Drone Pilot Ground School. For my efforts, I received a bit of backlash from some angry people who accused me of being a corporate shill. You know, basically typical YouTube behavior. I also got a landslide of positive comments and emails from happy, grateful drone professionals who took my advice, used the course to painlessly get their FAA certification, and then went on to be safe and responsible UAV operators. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out and decide for yourself if I'm a corporate shill or a good guy. At the risk of pissing off my dear haters, I'd like to add that since the publication of that video, Drone Pilot Ground School has actually extended the course access from 5 years to life. This means that if you decide to spend your hard-earned cash and enroll in the course to help you get your certification, you'll be able to have indefinite access. So you can certify, get your FAA license, and then when it's time to recertify, you can take additional courses on that same fee that will help you get your license renewed over and over again. Call me crazy, but that seems like a really good deal. Now, unlike free YouTube videos, Drone Pilot Ground School continuously updates their courses. They ensure that all their information stays current. And so when you go to recertify or certify for the first time, you're guaranteed up-to-date information. For those interested, I'll link to everything below this video. So if I may rant just a little bit longer on this subject, I want to explain to everybody how and why I promote stuff on this channel. In a nutshell, when I promote stuff on BoutenkoFilms, I only feature products and services that I love and use myself. I have no qualms with saying no to sponsorships. I do it all the time. In fact, the bulk of the things that are offered to me, I just push away because I don't believe in the products. The products and services that do make it onto this channel are vetted very thoroughly by me, and thus you see content about them on this channel. I publish such videos because number one, I enjoy connecting quality offerings with good people, and number two, such collaborations help me raise funds through affiliate links from my channel and enable me to keep my content flowing and free. And I retain all editorial control to all of the videos that I publish. Clicking on my affiliate links doesn't cost you any extra money. In fact, most of the time it saves you money. I see this as a win-win all around. Each time that you click on an affiliate link in my video description, I earn a small commission. And if and when a bunch of folks purchase stuff via these links, I make enough money to pay my bills and create new YouTube content. When said affiliate links go dry, I tend to max out my credit cards, I piss off my girlfriend, and quite honestly, I consider quitting this entire YouTube thing because it just doesn't make financial sense and I can't afford my life. So basically what I'm saying is that I have no moral issues recommending cool stuff on this channel and earning a living for my efforts. I also have no beefs with supporting cool businesses and brands that innovate, that spend countless hours building solid, useful products and services. Perhaps moving forward, I should be better about identifying which video is an ad or promotional material and which isn't. And I'm fully willing to do this. However, in the past, I've been criticized for doing that too. So people have yelled at me for saying, hey guys, this is an ad, because they feel like it breaks up the flow of the video. And so what's a guy to do? I just can't win. That being said, I am curious what you guys think. I am open to, being better. So leave me a comment below. Tell me whether or not you want these disclosure notices. And if so, which type do you prefer? Do you prefer a text disclosure? Do you prefer an in-video disclosure? I'm curious about all of that. Last but not least, I'd like to inform you that this video right here is a promotional video for Drone Film Guide. So I recently spent 10.5 hours taking the course, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The owners of the program, the folks running it, Stuart and Alina, they are a super fun couple. They're very quirky, they're very professional, and it was a pleasure watching them and learning from them. I gleaned way more knowledge than I ever thought I could from this masterclass, and as a result, my skills as a drone pilot have improved significantly. Or at least, they will improve significantly when I start applying this stuff more and more in the real world. Because I'm a happy customer, I'm going to speak very highly of Drone Film Guide, aka I'm going to promote it. And so if you don't like videos like this, feel free to keep on trucking. Let's quickly talk about my drone history. When I bought my first DJI drone in 2013, it was very easy to impress crowds with aerial footage. Back then, all you really had to do was incorporate a few lengthy drone shots into a production, and you were golden. People were in awe. Moreover, many viewers assumed that you were either rich and could afford a specialty video drone, or you had close connections to a helicopter pilot who would take you up into the sky to film stuff from time to time. Either way, aerial footage gave you serious street cred. And the craziest part about the entire thing is that the quality of the drone footage didn't even have to be good. I mean, look at these shots. The shots you're watching are some old shots that I took years ago, and look at them. They're absolutely awful. They're shaky and they're out of focus, and yet at the time, they did the trick. Well, now it's 2020 and nobody cares about drone footage anymore, or at least they care a lot less about it, and this is both a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because if you do manage to capture somebody's attention, that likely means that you have skills, that you're a good cinematographer, you're doing something right. So that's kind of validation and proof of concept. On the other hand, it's a bad thing because now you have to work harder and it's not as easy to capture an audience. So just to be clear, I do think that overall this is a good thing. I strive to be better constantly, and so this is something that's going to help me get there versus just being idle and just shooting stagnant bird's eye view perspectives with nothing technical going on. On that note, a few months back I was watching some of my newest drone footage and mentally critiquing it. Based on that experience, I decided it wouldn't hurt to perfect my drone skills a bit. Get a little bit better at my craft. I don't necessarily think of myself as a bad camera operator, but there's always room for development and improvement, and so I thought, now's the time. Coincidentally, I read a drone pilot ground school newsletter about a course called Drone Film Guide. I was intrigued with this idea of an aerial cinematography course, and so I decided to take the 8-hour masterclass. In the interest of full disclosure, I want to say that Drone Film Guide is not a cheap course. It costs roughly $350, and I say roughly because it's the internet, things are constantly changing. So the course costs $350 right now. I think you get a $50 discount if you use the link in the description below, but that's still a big chunk of change, and I get that. When learning new skills, I like to take my time, and I recommend that you do the same. I like to pause and rewind a bunch, and it typically takes me more than the allotted time to finish studying. So in true Sergey fashion, when I took Drone Film Guide, instead of 8 hours, it actually took me 10.5 hours to complete. And I also like to take heaps of notes, 27 pages to be exact. So I just about filled out an entire yellow notepad of notes. And I like taking these notes and actually writing it down because I can then take this pad with me on my drone shoots, when I'm practicing, and I can reference all the course material right then and there. I find this really helpful, and it also helps me study and remember stuff. So to give you an idea of how long it took me to complete the course, I probably studied for about a week, and I watched all of the course videos in chunks of about 1 to 2 hours. So, I didn't go crazy. I didn't go like ham, just watching it straight through. I don't recommend that you do that either because some of the material is very information dense, and you're going to want to take some time to digest it and maybe even come back and reference it. So 1 to 2 hours over the span of a week, just super easy to do, very doable. A little side note here, the platform that Drone Film Guide is hosted on makes it incredibly easy to stop and start the courses as needed. So in other words, you can tailor this course to meet your personal daily needs. The platform also automatically saves your place and gives you a nifty progress bar. Both of these features help you keep track of where you are in space and time, and I found those two features to be particularly helpful. And you can also download all of the videos in HD for safekeeping or to watch offline at a later date. This means you can watch your drone videos in a van or in a tent. You could potentially even take Drone Film Guide with you on location. When you're practicing, you can fly your drone, watch a lesson, implement those things, and just keep going. For some people, I foresee that as being a great way to learn, myself included. I may someday do that. So as for the course itself, it casts a much broader net than the name implies. The name Drone Film Guide essentially makes you believe that you're going to be learning exclusively about drone cinematography. But when I sat down to take the course, I quickly figured out that I would be schooled on filmmaking as a whole. For instance, the course taught me how to plan and scout pro-level video shoots without ever leaving my house or spending any money. This is absolutely incredible because in the past I've spent heaps of time and tons of dough actually driving out to different locations to check out the scene, feet on the ground. But Drone Film Guide offers a better solution. Drone Film Guide taught me how to do most of this digitally online for free, using all sorts of apps and programs. Best of all, these methods not only apply to aerial video shoots, but to all filming engagements. I also learned some pretty cool setting tweaks, adjustments within the settings of my drone that help me optimize how the machine moves and flies. And these settings will essentially help me make better, smoother, more buttery footage and better photos. Check it out. I'll give you an example. By tweaking with the EXP and gimbal settings inside my drone's menus, I can actually control how my UAV and camera gimbal move. And these adjustments make it much easier to capture high quality aerial footage. This is exactly how you do it in the DJI ecosystem. So you navigate into your settings. Under EXP controls, set all of your drone stick values to 0.1. Maybe they were at 0.35, 0.2. Set all your drone stick values to 0.1. This modification will even out how your drone flies, specifically up, down, forwards, backwards, and side to side. And as a result, you'll capture better video. In the gimbal settings, I changed my gimbal pitch speed from 50 to 11. This was also an incredible change. This translated to sexy, buttery gimbal tilts. And this is very much necessary for capturing majestic tilt reveal shots. If you don't know what a tilt reveal shot is, here's an example, and you're gonna learn all about them in this course as well. Just so that you can better visualize what I'm talking about, here's a quick demo of gimbal pitch speeds set to 50. And here's what it looks like when gimbal pitch is set to 11. The default setting of 50 is very sharp and jittery. And then when you bring it down to 11, you'll notice that it's silky smooth. So when you finally make it to the cinematography section of Drone Film Guide, you'll be taught all sorts of cool things. You'll learn how to create suspenseful shots, how to understand natural light sources, namely the sun. You'll learn how to compose stellar shots, how to use focal points, leading lines, repetition, frame within a frame, and yes, you'll even learn how to fly in specific patterns in order to create visually stunning shots. Here are a few examples of drone shots that I filmed before and after taking this course. Let's see if you can spot the difference. So what do you think? Can you spot the difference in my before and after shots? Perhaps see some improvement? My fingers are crossed. This is only the beginning for me, and I intend fully to implement this stuff and use it every time I fly my drone. And hopefully, as time goes on, my skill just continues to rise. In taking this course, I also noticed that I was gaining some perhaps unintentional benefits. And one of those benefits was the understanding of how and why I've come to do certain procedures, specifically as they relate to flying drones, to UAVs. And one example of this is a while back I started filming big zoom shots in reverse for no apparent reason. In other words, instead of flying my drone into an object or a subject from far away, I started doing it in reverse. I began filming pull-away shots, i.e. flying away from my subjects, and then reversing these clips in post-production. Somewhere in the middle of the course, Stuart, the host, addresses this exact practice and mentions that this is a very common aerial film trick. So apparently many one-person drone shooters do this strategically because it's much easier to hit your mark when you're flying in this manner. Practically speaking, it's much easier to set your scene in a drone camera and then fly away from it than the opposite. It's very hard to kind of fly from far away and get everything right because you're moving an object through three-dimensional space. So it's very hard to kind of zoom in and stop the drone and the camera in the exact location that you need it to. So practically, it makes way more sense to fly away from it and reverse it. This practice is also a lot safer because you're essentially flying drones away from people and things instead of flying them into people and things and trying to stop them before they collide. Understanding the why in such practices is very valuable to me because it essentially connects theoretical knowledge with practical knowledge, and I'm able to kind of link it, and as a result, my understanding of my craft improve, my skills improve, and I think it's very crucial to have those moments because the improvement that you experience during those times is immeasurable. It's exponential. So Stuart and Alina, if you're watching this, I don't know if that kind of stuff was intended or can even be planned for, but you guys knocked it out of the ballpark, and I'm very grateful for that personally. I'm not going to attempt to outline the entire course in this video because that would take all day, 10.5 hours to be precise. That said, if you're interested, you can go check out the course for yourself, and you know where the link will be. It'll be down in the description below. Before I sign off, I do want to quickly touch on who I think this course is best aimed at and what kind of drones you can expect to learn about in Drone Film Guide. First, let's talk about drones. Currently, DJI drones are the industry gold standard. Because of this, much of the course's information regarding drone settings, maps, GPS functions, etc., is aimed at DJI drones, namely Mavic Pros and Phantom drones. That said, the course will also teach you that it's less important which types of drones you fly, new or old ones, cheaper and expensive ones, but rather how you fly your machines. 5 years from now, it's very likely that our current drone technology is going to be grossly outdated, and so we're going to have to adapt to new machines, and thus it's much less important what drones you're flying as it is how you're flying them. And this course will teach you exactly that. It'll teach you how to become a better aerial cinematographer, photographer, and then hopefully you can just leapfrog from your current drones onto whatever future generations of drones come out. If you don't currently own a DJI drone, no worries. I would say that only roughly 15 to 20% of this course is really geared towards DJI products. The rest of the course, like 80% of it, is more theory and practical information that is applicable to all drones as a whole. As for who stands to benefit the most from this course, I think that if you're a serious hobbyist, maybe an amateur photographer, videographer, or even an aspiring pro, you stand to gain the most. After taking this course, you will definitely gain skills that will help you be a better drone operator and cinematographer or photographer. So if you're in one of those three pools, I think that this course, Drone Film Guide, is kind of within your wheelhouse. At $350 a pop, like I already mentioned, it's not a cheap course. That being said, it's much cheaper than film school. And if you're an industry professional, if you're getting paid to do this stuff, you can just write this course off as a business expense. So when you go to pay your taxes, you're going to save that hard-earned cash in that sector. And as I already mentioned, if you click my affiliate link below, you save $50. So instead of $350, you're going to spend $300. Undoubtedly, some people will point out that you can learn all this stuff for free on YouTube. And to this I say, you're not wrong. That being said, taking the free approach will most likely consume exponentially more time, as you will have to scour the internet looking for quality lessons. Such lessons will most likely be delivered in the form of innumerable segmented videos, and they will fill your head with contradictory advice. This in and of itself will likely confuse you rather than teach you stuff, and it can be very frustrating. Finally, YouTube videos tend to age quickly, whereas paid courses have more of an incentive and a budget to stay current and teach you up-to-date material. I know all this firsthand because I've tried the free approach many times, and I know that it only gets you so far. Yes, it can be done, but sometimes it's better to just shuck out some dough and just get some consistency, and then you save valuable chunks of your life. That's just my opinion, but I think I'm right. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't have too much skin in the game, whether or not you choose to take this course or not. I think that you know you best, and you should do you, boo. So check out free videos if you want. Otherwise, take the course. That's a great alternative too. And on that note, if you do want to go the free video route, make sure you check out Drone Film Guide's YouTube channel, because they have lots of great free content on there. And so you can kind of preview who they are and what they offer before you drop any sort of coin on one of their products. And I believe on that note, we're done. I think I got through everything. That's it. That's all for now. If you made it to the very end, you deserve a big high five, digital style. Thank you so much for watching. For more videos that are just like this, but completely different, subscribe to this channel, BoutenkoFilms. And on that note, I will see you soon. Peace.